Alright, this is a video talking about kind of like the continuation of this video I made last year. It's like Simpsons predict future of America. I just want to clarify some of the mistakes that were made. When you educate that the earth is flat, you don't just say the earth is flat. You need to detail why you believe the earth is flat. There's a ton of videos on YouTube that prove that all the videos of the globe earth and all the pictures of the globe earth are all fake. So what does the scripture say? It says the earth is the Creator's footstool. You're not moving right now. You've been lied to and deceived. And people did point out that this particular picture could have a dual meaning, which means sometime in the future, the CIA, we know the CIA controls all the terrorist groups. They fund and control the terrorist groups. So this picture could actually show or reveal that a crescent moon, the Islamic moon, and it shows like a nuclear power station. So they might be telling us that sometime in the future there's going to be a big terrorist attack on a nuclear power station, maybe in Texas. So this picture could have a dual meaning. I know it's not a coincidence that they show the cracked line going right up the Madrid fault line. It's not by accident, so this might have a dual meaning. And something else I'd like to clarify in this video, cannibalism, in the future, crops don't grow right and all this. When I mean crops are going to grow indoors, I mean a controlled environment. You have to keep in mind, there's a reason why the scriptures say that one day's wage will only buy a loaf of bread. The weather is going to prevent crops from even growing, so it has to be grown in a controlled environment. And something else I would like to point out about that big hit video, it depicts the next president as a female. And that is most likely the real 44. The ancient Israel, judgment fell on the 44th king. And there's all these incredible parallels between the ancient Israel and America. And the theory is that judgment will fall upon America on the real 44, or the 44th president. But what the wicked power elite has done is they have confused us from figuring out who the real 44 is. So I made a video called Simpsons Predicting World War III, and I go through this elaborate detail where I show how to prove who the real 44 is. Basically, the president after Donald Trump should be the real 44. There's a possibility that Obama was just like a decoy. His whole role was to prevent anyone from figuring out who the real 44 was. But I will leave a link under the video so that you can check out Simpsons Predict World War III, and I go through step by step on how to predict or calculate when the end time nightmare is going to happen and who the real 44 is. It should be the next president. There is an interesting prophecy, it's old, decades old, where a lady predicted that the real 44 would be a black man and he would be the last president. Well, like I show in this video, I'm going to leave a link below the video where I show that Obama was not the real 44 and Trump is most likely not the real 44. But guess what? If a black female runs for president and she is the next president, like the Simpsons predict a female, I can assure you this, she has the DNA of a man, which means this old prophecy is actually true. The last president will be a man, a black man. The world's not going to recognize it as a black man. It's going to look like a black female. So you have to keep that in mind. And also, I would like to point out where I talk about the big fake asteroid and how they'll detonate probably 1,000 of the mother of all bombs, We know that nuclear weapons do not really exist. If you're watching this video and you believe nuclear weapons really exist, I encourage you to go do a little investigation because we can prove they don't really exist. It's just another deception and another hoax, another money-making scheme. So anyway, the technology that they're going to use for the big fake asteroid or the meteor It's going to come streaking through the sky. It's going to be brighter than the sun. It is some kind of Nikola Tesla technology. Most people call it a plasma ball energy weapon. It could be like scalar energy technology, something involving Nikola Tesla. We don't even know. But I can assure you this, if you go to YouTube and type in Russia Meteor 2015, you will see a fake meteor. This is the technology that they're going to use when they reduce America to a third world nation. You have to keep in mind, every interstate bridge in the Midwest will be collapsed. Every railroad bridge or trestle in the Midwest will be collapsed, which means no one is going to replenish your local grocery store or your gas station. It's no coincidence that there's 750 FEMA camps in America. It's not by accident, it's all by design. And basically the whole point of this video, this continuation, is to show you how to predict when the end time nightmare is going to happen, or the destruction of America. It should be around the year 2028 to 2032. And we'll go step by step to show you why we believe this. And the other point, the whole point of this video is to show preppers, end time preppers, how to outsmart the New World Order. If you are a doomsday prepper and you have hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, you are the biggest threat to the New World Order. See, this guy over here that's making like minimum wage, and he's trying to store up on a little food and little this and little that, he's not a threat to the New World Order because he doesn't have the resources to dig out an underground bunker and store up on 10 or 11 years of food and water for his family. He doesn't have the resources. It's the preppers that have hundreds of thousands of dollars that are the biggest threat. So one of the ways to calculate the destruction of America, first of all, The Simpsons is the greatest Illuminati future exposing TV show ever put on television.
I was thinking we might want to save my 2014 Joke-A-Day calendar, because the calendar's the same in the year 2031, and we're really going to need some laughs then, after World War China.
So they actually said the year 2031. Very important. So we know there are ancient 400-year cycles, and people believe that concerning America there is a 400-year cycle. Remember, November of 1620 is when the Christians signed the Mayflower Compacts. It's like a declaration to the Lord. So, you know, it's kind of like we pledge our allegiance to you. We're going to live righteously and pure and holy, and may you bless us. Well, that 400-year cycle comes to an end in 2020. Basically, what I'm trying to say is after the year 2020, if the CIA wants to have one of their little puppet terrorists detonate a bomb in the middle of Chicago and kill 27,000 people, guess what? The Lord's not going to stop him. His grace, that period of grace ends in 2020, November of 2020. That's why I'm very concerned about the end of 2020 and every year after that. And I definitely want to educate all the preppers that have hundreds of thousands of dollars and you are attempting to outsmart the New World Order. You know that the UN soldiers are going to take over America. You know martial law is coming. You know that it's going to be mandatory for you to get a chip or identification mark in your hand or you're going to be executed. And you have to figure out how to store up on food and water without leaving a money trail or a paper trail. So this is an example. This is like 10 or 20 miles north of Kansas City. And let's say there's people that bought like 10, 20 acres of land and they figured out clever ways to build an underground bunker. Do you know what would happen if you take 4 or 5 crappy school buses, put them in the ground, put them all together? You're going to have a lot of room. The dome roof acts as a powerful support against the dirt above it. If you have contaminated your secret area with a cell phone or a GPS technology, you've already screwed yourself. If you have some kind of new truck that has built-in GPS, you've already screwed yourself. Basically, what I'm telling you is the FBI could send you an email right now telling you where you were at 10 years ago from this very day at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Because everything we are doing is being recorded into massive underground data facilities. They have unlimited digital storage. Everything, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it's all being recorded. And the purpose is because in the future, when it is mandatory for you to get a chip in your hand and you're not showing up, you're like, screw this, man, I'm getting in my vehicle and bugging out. Guess what? The UN soldiers are going to have access to all the data information, and when they see these repetitious movements to your secret location, because you were too dumb to keep your cell phone at home when you're trying to outsmart the New World Order, you've already screwed yourself. And a very important piece of knowledge for the preppers that have lots of money, they can actually watch you. There are agencies that can watch you through your television sets. What people have learned is that all those thousands of pixels on the screen, they're not all pixels. They look like pixels, but they have camera-like capabilities. And it's no accident that every new television comes standard with Wi-Fi, so it can always communicate with the cell phone towers. And there's no doubt that in the near future, they might have an emergency battery inside of the television, so you can unplug your television all you want, but if it has an internal battery, it can still communicate with the cell phone towers. So you definitely want to investigate hidden cameras in HD TVs. You need to know every angle on how to combat the New World Order. And if you're going to use new money, let's say you go to Big R or Rural King or Walmart and you're going to buy long-term storage life buckets of food and you're going to use cash. If you're using new cash, put that money in the microwave for like 4 to 5 seconds, because there is a possibility that there is microscopic tracking technology. We don't actually know what is in this money. We know that there are testimonies in the future where they can track you with your cash, which seems crazy, right? Well, it's not crazy. There could be microscopic tracking technology. Your cell phone is hooked up to Wi-Fi. It's always communicating with the cell phone towers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we don't know the technology that's in these cell phones. These Wi-Fi signals could be detecting micro tracking technology, and they know the cash that's in your wallet. So like I said, if you're using new money, put it in the microwave for 4 to 5 seconds. If there is microscopic technology, it will destroy it. So we believe that we're going to be in a cashless society probably by the year 2025. What I've learned is that South Korea wants to be a cashless society by 2020. That Sweden could be a cashless society by the year 2023. So there is no doubt whatsoever, the year 2021 to 2028, we will absolutely go into a cashless society. I calculate by 2025, maybe 2026. So you might have 7 years or less to figure out how to create an underground bunker without leaving a money trail or a paper trail. If you are building a secret underground bunker anywhere close to these red areas, you have to keep in mind you're going to have to support the inside of your bunker to withstand the massive earthquake, this worldwide earthquake that is coming. And according to the scriptures, the book of Jeremiah, I think it's chapter 51 or something, it says, the whole earth will quake, shake at the taking of Babylon. It's talking about America. It's actually the Lord's will for these crazy power elite to demolish America. Sounds crazy.